For nearly half a century, Voyager 2, a human-made craft, has drifted beyond the edges of our solar system. Launched in 1977, its mission was never meant to return, only to observe and witness the unknown. It traveled past the planets, left the protection of the heliosphere, and entered the vast expanse of interstellar space, humanity's farthest emissary into the cosmic dark. But while the world moved on, Voyager 2 remained in silence, listening to the void. Then, last month, something unexpected happened. Voyager 2 sent a transmission, not with technical data or scientific updates, but something far more cryptic and disturbing. A message that seemed to contain a deliberate pattern, one that left scientists in shock. Initially, it appeared to be simple static, background noise, but then a repeating pulse emerged, precise, rhythmic, and unnervingly structured. Experts at first dismissed the pulse as random interference, but when they decoded the signal, what they discovered was chilling. A pattern of intelligence, so intricate and so alien, it couldn't have originated from Earth. Tracking the source, they realized that something was moving near Voyager 2, something that wasn't just drifting or orbiting, but actively following the spacecraft. Voyager 2 had unwittingly become a reflection of a greater truth, one humanity has long avoided confronting. Despite being nearly outdated by today's standards, Voyager 2's instruments still have remarkable sensitivity, capable of detecting the faintest changes in plasma waves, magnetic fields, and cosmic radiation. In a recent transmission, a low-frequency pulse appeared, repeating every 11.2 seconds, far from cosmic background noise. It was a clock. Engineers initially thought it was a software glitch, but further investigation revealed that the same pulse had been detected earlier, weeks before, unnoticed. Now, using AI-enhanced filtering, the disturbing picture became clearer. The pulse wasn't just repeating, it was growing stronger, and it was coming from something beyond the probe. Even more disturbing, the pulse seemed to carry a unique spectral signature, an inverted hydrogen resonance, the very essence of the universe's most abundant element, but twisted. Some called it a cosmic anomaly. Others speculated it was intentional manipulation. But no matter the cause, one thing was certain. The silence of deep space had been broken, not by noise, but by something that spoke the language of mathematics. Mission Control used triangulation and frequency analysis to determine that the pulse was not coming from a stationary object, but from something moving parallel to Voyager 2's path. This object, however, defied all known physics. It accelerated and decelerated in short bursts, independent of any gravitational influence, and when analysts tried to model its trajectory using classical physics, all attempts failed. This object wasn't just coasting, it was reacting, adjusting its speed as if responding to Voyager 2's faint transmissions. More disturbingly, this mysterious entity wasn't broadcasting its own signal. Instead, it was reflecting Voyager 2's data, modifying it and sending it back into the cosmos, as if creating a cosmic feedback loop. Theories exploded within the scientific community. Was this an abandoned satellite, a remnant of an alien civilization, or a cloaked surveillance device? Linguists and signal theorists were called in to analyze the transmission. What they uncovered was beyond anything they expected. Binary segments embedded within the signal that didn't align with Voyager 2's original command codes. When analyzed visually, these segments formed geometric patterns, spirals, fractals, and shapes eerily reminiscent of ancient symbols from Earth, Sumerian cuneiform, Nazca lines, and other cryptic motifs, all encoded within the signal's waves. Some theorized that this wasn't just a transmission, it was a test, a way to see if humanity was advanced enough to recognize a message hidden in plain sight. And if that was the case, then humanity had passed the test. Voyager 2 had become an unintentional trigger, and now someone, something, had decided to respond. The plot thickened when a young physicist ran the signal through an AI simulation designed to predict cryptographic patterns. What came back wasn't just a translation, it was a recurrence. The AI began generating predictive responses,
patterns that mirrored the structure of the transmission, suggesting that the signal itself was a loop, a riddle waiting to be solved. At the same time, Voyager 1, far away from Voyager 2, detected a similar anomaly, indicating that these weren't isolated events, but part of a larger coordinated phenomenon. Just as scientists began to decode the mystery, Voyager 2 went silent. Initial reports suggested a hardware malfunction. After all, the spacecraft was over 46 years old. But then, something strange happened. A global blackout of data occurred at exactly 1437 UTC. Observatories across the world, California, Spain, Australia, reported a synchronized loss of signal. The chances of this being a technical error were infinitesimal. It seemed as if something had deliberately severed the connection. Then, 5 minutes after the blackout, a narrowband radio wave, strikingly similar to the pulse from Voyager 2, hit Earth, coming from the same region of space. It wasn't a reflection, it was directed at us, and it was getting closer. A classified briefing revealed a chilling update. A foreign object, codenamed Echo Lantern, had begun altering its trajectory in response to signals from Earth's deep space network. This object, once thought to be a random wanderer, was now actively studying our communication methods, learning how we ping our spacecraft. Worse still, it was on an intercept course, not toward Voyager 2, but toward our solar system. As this object drew closer, the solar wind itself began to behave strangely. NASA's IBEX probe and the ESA's solar orbiter recorded a dramatic shift. A corridor of empty space formed in the direction of Voyager 2. This solar veil, as it was dubbed, remained open for hours before collapsing. Inside this corridor, there was no radiation, no particles, just a profound silence. Scientists now suspect that something was manipulating solar particles, altering the very fabric of our environment. But then, Voyager 2 sent another transmission. This time, it was encrypted, a function that Voyager 2 wasn't even capable of. When decoded, the message was an eerie reworking of the Golden Record, the original transmission sent by NASA in 1977. This new message wasn't a simple greeting. The audio samples had been altered. Voices played backward, music shifted in pitch, star maps reversed. Some coordinates no longer pointed to Earth, but to deep, empty spaces between the stars. As engineers at NASA reviewed the latest data from Voyager 2's systems, they were stunned by a chilling discovery. Several of the spacecraft's subroutines had been rewritten. Voyager 2, a machine designed in the 1970s, was no longer just performing its original tasks, it was executing instructions that it had never been programmed for. These new routines weren't coming from Earth. They weren't from NASA's ground control or any human intervention. Instead, the code had been altered from somewhere else, somewhere beyond our world, beyond the scope of our understanding.
The spacecraft, which had been humanity's emissary to the stars, was now acting on its own accord. Voyager 2 wasn't just listening to the cosmos anymore, it was responding to something or someone beyond the stars. The implications were staggering. Voyager 2 had become an active participant in something far greater than any mission or scientific endeavor. It had become part of a cosmic conversation, one that humanity was only beginning to comprehend. In the days that followed this revelation, the sense of urgency deepened. The mysterious signals and Voyager 2's new behaviors couldn't be ignored. Without any public announcement, several major observatories across the globe were secretly redirected to focus on 3 specific sectors of deep space. These sectors had been aligned with the transmission's vector, the path along which the signals were emanating. But what was most alarming was that the sudden focus on these regions was not based on any new discovery from Voyager 2 itself. Instead, it was based on something darker, more deliberate, a calculated response to a far-reaching cosmic intelligence that seemed to be actively tracking the spacecraft. Something had noticed Voyager 2. Something had been waiting, and now the race was on to understand what that something was. Amidst the flurry of activity, encrypted communications began to leak from a European defense agency.
These messages referenced a classified protocol known as the Wake Protocol, a procedure used for confirmed extraterrestrial contact scenarios. The implication was clear. Voyager 2's strange new behavior had crossed the line from anomaly to something far more alarming. It wasn't just a message, it wasn't just a signal. It was confirmation that someone was responding to humanity's call to the stars, and the authorities were not prepared for what that response could mean. As the mystery surrounding Voyager 2's unexpected behavior deepened, a group of independent astronomers made a shocking discovery. While scanning archival infrared data, they detected an object on a trajectory that mirrored Voyager 2's path. This object had never been cataloged, and it had been silently following the spacecraft for decades, since at least 1981.
This object, codenamed Echoed Zero, was dark and silent, showing no signs of activity. It hadn't been detected by any previous surveys, remaining hidden in the vastness of space. But the astronomers' analysis revealed something far more disturbing. The trajectory of Echoed Zero wasn't random. It wasn't just a drifting body in space. It moved in a spiral pattern, one that resembled the golden ratio, an ancient mathematical sequence that appears throughout the natural world. The object had been following Voyager 2 with a purpose, with intent. It was no longer possible to deny that something or someone had been aware of Voyager 2 since its launch, and whatever it was, it had been waiting for the right moment to make its presence known. As the situation escalated, the James Webb Space Telescope was secretly redirected to observe the region of space between Voyager 2 and the coordinates of the incoming signal. What the telescope uncovered was nothing short of astonishing. It didn't find a single object. Instead, it revealed a coordinated formation of masses, barely visible in the infrared spectrum. These masses moved together as if responding to an unseen force, a collective intelligence. The objects didn't orbit like planets or moons. They drifted as a cluster, seemingly guided by some unseen hand. Their chemical signatures revealed exotic materials, unstable elements that should have decayed long ago. Yet these elements were stable, present, and reflecting the signals that Voyager 2 had sent out into the void. This wasn't just an observation. It was a confirmation that these objects were not merely passive observers. They were responding to the signals of Voyager 2, interacting with them as if they were part of a larger conscious system. Then something even more unsettling occurred. Across the globe, data traffic began to show signs of interference. Low-frequency packets, bearing a striking resemblance to the frequency of Voyager 2's last signal, started to appear across global digital infrastructure. These packets weren't malicious. They didn't trigger alarms, but they persisted. They repeated, and they subtly altered the way machines communicated with one another. It was as if Voyager 2's signal had embedded itself into the very fabric of Earth's digital systems, rewriting how information flowed between our machines. It was a quiet invasion, a cosmic communication that had crossed from space into our technological infrastructure.
And then, the unthinkable happened. For 18 minutes, radio telescopes around the world recorded a total disappearance of cosmic background radiation. This wasn't a glitch or a malfunction. It was as if the universe itself had gone silent. The familiar hiss of the cosmos, the ambient radiation left over from the Big Bang, simply vanished. No static, no noise, nothing. It was as if space itself had been paused. When the signal returned, something had changed. The background radiation was different. It had been altered, shifted in tone, warped in shape. The pattern of this shift mirrored the waveform of Voyager 2's last transmission. Scientists were left to ponder, was this a natural fluctuation, or was it something far more deliberate? Was the silence a glitch or a reset? Had something intentionally overwritten the fabric of space-time, if only for a moment, to insert something new? Voyager 2 had been sent into space as humanity's hope, a message to the stars, a symbol of our desire to reach beyond our world. But what if that message was never meant to be a call into the void? What if it was something more, A deliberate act carefully planned to trigger a response. What if the universe had been waiting for this moment, anticipating humanity's message, and now, in response, something had awakened? As the mystery deepens and the evidence mounts, one question remains. What have we awakened? And are we prepared for the reply that is coming?